my goodness, man. Dominik. Let me tell you something, brother. You are pretty fucking screwed, Dominik. Oh, my goodness, man. Rhea Ripley is back. And Liv Morgan. There's nowhere else to go for poor Liv but down. It's probably where she wants to be, on Dom. Rhea Ripley is back tonight as we build towards her redemption at SummerSlam. Seth Rollins out promoed CM Punk tonight. It all started great for Punk when he was talking about McIntyre, but Rollins, he ain't taking this shit anymore from CM Punk, man. They are now both healthy. And Seth Rollins made a promise to CM Punk tonight. Also, Chad Gable continues to be haunted by the Wyatt Six, where tonight we got a glimpse of the other members finally, behind the masks. Chad Gable seems to be looking for some help. I wonder who he's reaching out to. And Bron Breakker destroys Sami Zayn, and for all the geeks in the back that said he was buried, you all look like fucking idiots tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I need a cold beverage. It's still in the 80s, man. We're drinking outside at the beer garden. Jesse, make sure there's a ton of ice cold beers ready to go, man. We're going to the beer garden tonight. We're drinking them cold. And I got one question. When I get there, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your WWE Monday Night Raw post show for July 8th, 2024. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Monday evenings, wherever you may be. Someone in the chat asked how Jesse gets to the beer garden. Well, he certainly ain't riding in the Mustang, I'll tell you that, man. Listen, Jesse takes an Uber or a Lyft or one of them zippy cars that flies around New York City, man. He's got a job to do, man, so make sure they're fucking cold. It's fucking hot in here, man. Holy shit, I got the air conditioner on for 4 fucking hours, and it's still fucking hot in here. Oh, my goodness, man. You know where it's hot? Where I should say it wasn't really hot until Rhea Ripley got out there, man. Ottawa, I don't know what the fuck's going on up in Canada, man. Ottawa, man, you gotta axe this place off the fucking list of places to come, man, really. No energy from Ottawa tonight on Monday Night Raw, but they all loved Rhea Ripley returning to WWE to the surprise of everybody tonight early. Rhea Ripley is back, and she is looking for revenge on Liv Morgan. And she wants that Women's World Championship back around her waist. And what a perfect time to return, man. Always a perfect time right before SummerSlam. Rhea Ripley came back tonight, and the reaction that she got should obviously tell you where the story is going. I don't know if Rhea is going to excommunicate herself from Judgment Day on her own, or if they bounce her from the group, which is something that the Judgment Day are no strangers to doing. But Rhea Ripley's back. She's getting a championship opportunity if she is back for good at SummerSlam. That's the likely destination. That is the match. That's what we've been building to for the last several weeks. And SummerSlam seems to be the likely destination for both Rhea and Liv. I don't know where the story is going because on the flip side, Damian Priest is slowly becoming a babyface. So I don't really know how they maneuver both Rhea and Damian Priest away from Judgment Day. I don't know how they creatively get themselves from one point to the next. But Seth Rollins and Damian Priest also had a very interesting interaction tonight, which is planting more seeds into the Damian Priest babyface run that we're probably going to end up getting. But I'm excited that Rhea is back. That division needed her badly. They got nothing going on for it right now. You could pair women together and come up with new groups, and you can showcase these new women on television. Nobody gives a shit. When you got Rhea Ripley, Asuka, and Becky Lynch all out at the same time, that's a big, big, big blow to the women's division. And Rhea Ripley is now back. And I'm glad to see her back. This babyface run is going to be great. But SummerSlam is not going to be it for Rhea and Liv. It's going to be Chapter 1. I honestly do believe that Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley will be excommunicated from Judgment Day. I do think that we get a new Judgment Day with Liv Morgan, Finn Balor, JD McDonagh, Carlito. Maybe we get somebody else added that could be a new addition to the group. But I do think that at the end of all of this, I do think that Dominik, from what we saw tonight, I do think with the little subtle letting his guard down, and yes, he did not fold. I will give Dominik all the credit in the world. The guy kept his composure for weeks with Liv Morgan trying to seduce him. He did something that I don't think any man walking this planet could control themselves and do. And he did it. Tonight was the first huge step into him folding. He was about to fold. The man was about to fucking fold him up, throw his cards on the table. Goodbye. Listen, I'm done, man. I don't give a shit what's going on here, man. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And then all of a sudden, Rhea Ripley comes out. I do think that at the end of all of this, I do think that Dominik is going to end up siding with Liv Morgan. I do think that Dominik ends up costing Rhea Ripley the championship. And I do think that happens at SummerSlam. Rhea's not getting this championship back all because she's back. She's not getting the championship back because it's supposed to go back to her. There is a story to be played out here. And WWE strategically has SummerSlam coming up. Then we have Bash in Berlin at the end of August. And then we go right into Bad Blood. WWE's bringing back Bad Blood 27 years to the actual day of the first Bad Blood, where we got the introduction of the first ever Hell in a Cell match between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. WWE is bringing back Bad Blood, and what it symbolizes for a reason. Because there's a lot of feuds going on right now that have, quote-unquote, bad blood. We got the Bloodline and Roman coming back at SummerSlam. We got Cody and his dealings with the Bloodline. Who knows who he's going to be wrestling at that show? Judgment Day, Liv and Rhea, Punk and McIntyre, Punk and Rollins. There's a lot that's going in. There's a strategy involved here, and the reason why they brought that show back is because it perfectly symbolizes what's going on right now on WWE television. So SummerSlam will be step one. And if she's not cleared, she will be cleared. Because WWE is not going to bring her back if she's not anywhere close to being cleared. Same thing with Punk. Punk was off TV for several weeks. Punk is going to be on TV almost every other week now because he is getting ready to get cleared. So I'm excited to see where it goes. And this storyline has played out very nicely. I thought the ending angle tonight was fucking perfectly shot. It was great. Fun tag team match. It didn't really mean much. If anything, I think we all got tipped off earlier in the day when some outlets were reporting that Rhea Ripley was going to come back and make her return tonight. I thought the ending shot where Rhea comes out and she sees Liv on the mat with Dominik over her, and they were about to kiss today at the end of Monday Night Raw, and Rhea Ripley's music plays, the fucking place comes unglued. She got a huge reaction, unbelievable reaction. I thought the way that they set it up with where Dominic and Liv were in the ring and then Rhea comes out, I thought it was all very well presented. So I really enjoyed that tonight on Monday Night Raw. CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Punk opened the show. There was no Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre was suspended for what he did at the Money in the Bank post show by accidentally elbowing Adam Pearce in the jaw. He had to be restrained by Wade Barrett, who jumped off of the post-show panel, and he got into an argument with Adam Pearce, did Drew McIntyre. He was yelling in the camera. He knows where Punk lives, making idle threats to come to the man's home and harm his family. He got suspended, fined $50,000. Punk opened the show tonight and basically shut everybody up by telling everybody as long as he has any breath in his lungs, Drew McIntyre will never be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I don't know why anybody is still questioning what happened at Money in the Bank. CM Punk laid it out for you. And if you still don't understand it, go clean your fucking ears. The guy basically told you why he continues to screw over Drew McIntyre. They're basically telling you what's going on, and people still ask questions. Oh, well, I thought it was a bad decision that he won Money in the Bank. It was a failed cash-in. He was a waste of a briefcase, man. I don't know how many times we got to explain it to you, man. Punk is basically laying it out for you. And McIntyre told you what he was going to do 2 weeks ago. Why are you surprised? I'm sure Mr. Solomonster and I will continue to make everybody look like fools tomorrow who still doubt why it was the right creative decision. We'll go over the promo. I thought the open of Monday Night Raw was excellent. I thought Seth Rollins actually out-promoted CM Punk, which is a rare night off for Mr. Punk. Not that he delivered a bad promo. Rollins just had a lot to get off his chest, and Rollins was a lot more animated than CM Punk was. No Drew McIntyre. As I said, he was suspended. He will be on the show next week. We got more Wyatt 6. We got more Wyatt 6 haunting Chad Gable. We got another VHS tape with Bo Dallas. We finally got a little glimpse as to who's behind the masks of the other members of the Wyatt 6. I do have one concern, though. I do have one concern about what's going on with the Wyatt 6, and I will address that tonight on the post show. And other than that, not really much else happened, man. The top stories are playing out. Pete Dunne got his own story tonight with Sheamus. I'll give you my opinion on where I think that should go. More Miz-Truth and Braun Strowman. I don't really give a shit about that. More ladies action. We got Sonya Deville aligning herself with Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. Who cares, right? Who gives a shit? All in all, I thought Monday Night Raw was a decent show. It wasn't anything, oh my God, I can't believe this is a great Monday Night Raw. Oh, man. No, it wasn't that type of show. That type of show. It was a very good show, but I would not say it was a banger episode following a very hot Money in the Bank pay-per-view. So we will go over that. Braun Strowman, Miz Truth, don't give a shit about it. We got Bron Breakker and Sami Zayn, something I do give a shit about. I loved what they did with Bron Breakker tonight, basically setting him up for a rematch against Sami Zayn at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental Championship. Ilya Dragunov got dragged into it. We will go over that as well. We got a lot to talk about. So thank you guys for joining me here on OTS on this Monday Night Raw post for July 8th, 2024. Tonight, sponsored by my great friends over at Magic Mind. We will go over why I love Magic Mind a little bit later on in the show, because I got my Liquid Death all prepped and ready to go, man. This is going in my sparkling water, and we're going to feel energized tonight. The one way I get through a very long, tiresome weekend, and the way I get through all of these shows and give you the best post-show review of any wrestling show in the IWC and over anybody's, because of this little green magic bottle, man. Magic Mind. We'll go over them a little bit later on in the show. I want to thank them for supporting the show. As always, use that code JD from NY20 at checkout. MagicMind.com/JD from NY. You guys can save up to 48% off a subscription or 20% off a one-time purchase. Sounds like a great deal to me. Follow me on social media. Yes, I believe in Joe Hendry as well. Absolutely. If you don't believe in Joe Hendry, and if there's any Gunther negative comments, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the venue. There will be no negative comments, no criticisms of Gunther, okay? Jesse, you can criticize. The AEW poor attendance numbers, you can criticize. Punk made a nice offhanded comment tonight. The AEW enthusiasts got all riled up over a fucking one-liner by Punk tonight, man. It's so easy to rile that roster up, man. Oh, man. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Hit that thumbs up. We got 2,700 in here tonight, man. I only see 575 likes. I'm going to need you guys to get to work and get that number to 1,000. Minimum. And super chats are open. I want to see some fucking energy in the venue tonight, man. I'm pumped. I want to see some energy. Get those super chats in. We'll hang out at the end of the show with our liquid deaths, our cold beverages, our magic minds, whatever you guys got to drink. We'll hang out. Any questions, comments, and concerns? Got a couple of new banger songs before the stream. Who's giving you this type of fucking live stream and production, man, in the IWC? Nobody. And go check out all the other content on the channel. Plenty of it. We got a brand new week of content, man. I was on for 5 days last week. Go check all that stuff out. And we got a brand new week of content, like I said, starting tonight and then tomorrow, episode 56 of Tuesday Night Titans. The Salamonster and I are going to go over all your week's pro wrestling news, do a deep dive into the John Cena retirement, have a nice discussion about that, talk about Money in the Bank, and school some idiots who tend to think they are right, but they are always wrong. It's what we do on Tuesday nights. Appreciate you guys joining me right here on OTS. Let's start at the top, man. Monday Night Raw. Yeah, man, I don't know. If you are disrespecting Gunther, man, I'm going to have to ask you to vacate, okay? There's no disrespect to the King General at all. I don't know what he did to you, but clearly if you disrespect Gunther, you have obviously terrible taste. Monday Night Raw started off with the man of the hour, Mr. CM Punk. Always great to see Punk. He brings a nice sense of must-see every time he's on television. Gee, man, I wonder what's missing over on that other show. Punk. That's what's missing. Punk is in the ring, and he says, it's been so long since I've been here. He asks if it's great to be alive in Ontario, Canada. You would think it's great to be alive. The crowd was not alive, though. Took them a little bit to get going tonight. He says he had a lot to get off his chest. And he talked about John Cena. Wanted to congratulate John Cena on his retirement announcement. He noted he has had harsh things to say about him in the past. He basically called John Cena the New York Yankees. A respected franchise, but the most hated franchise in all of the MLB. I think they have kind of taken a dip into maybe second or third place, man. I think more people now hate the Dodgers than they do the Yankees or the Phillies, right? Speaking of which, can someone find out what the Braves are doing, please? I know they're playing the Diamondbacks. I need some updates, please. Somebody in the chat, make sure you are a MLB scoreboard for me until I get out of here, okay? I need to know what the Braves are doing. We got to get hot before the MLB All-Star game. I need them to be hot. Been playing subpar baseball all year, man. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Basically called John Cena the New York Yankees of professional wrestling. He says he'd like to have at least one more match with John Cena before he hangs it up. Tied 3 going into the bottom of the 9th. Thank you, Tommy. Last time I checked the fucking score, they were winning 1-0. What happened? John Cena and CM Punk will absolutely meet in the next calendar year. If they don't, it is a huge missed opportunity. It's absolutely happening. And I'm sure Jason and I will talk about that tomorrow on TNT. Punk was one of the names that I mentioned about John Cena wrestling in his retirement run. Gunther's another name. Bron Breakker could be a potential. Randy Orton. Those are all obvious names. All obvious names. AJ Styles is another name. John Cena apparently does not want to handpick his opponents. He wants to wrestle anybody and all in this run, which is respectable. And we'll talk about that, I'm sure, tomorrow. Then we shift gears to Drew McIntyre. Cena isn't there, nor is Drew McIntyre. He said he wanted to look under the ring to see if McIntyre was lurking there. He says he has $1 million body and a 10-cent brain. He said, Drew, for some reason, that sounds like a Bobby Heenan comment. Could be. He said Drew got himself suspended. He threw to a clip of Drew barging in on the Money in the Bank post show, shoving 2 referees down, and then elbowing Adam Pearce in the jaw during the pre-show, or the post-show, rather. So Pearce was angry. Wade Barrett got involved, and Drew was rightfully suspended. Punk said it's unfortunate the ratings just took a dip because Drew McIntyre was on TV. Ha-ha. He says there are consequences for one's actions. He says when you pick a fight with Punk, Punk fires back. CM Punk is the consequences to all of your stupid actions. He listed the names, or he listed the times, rather, that Drew blew it. He said Drew will never be champion again as long as there is air in his lungs. Said it again tonight. For all the people, I can't begin to tell you how many people I saw on social media this past weekend within the last 48 hours. Oh, well, but there was a different way they could have went about it. McIntyre could have had the briefcase in his grasp, and Punk could have screwed him out of the ladder match, and we could have gave Jey Uso the briefcase. No, we don't give Jey Uso the briefcase. I don't know how many times I got to document this for all the fucking blithering idiots out there. Oh, but they could have gave LA Knight the briefcase. Chad Gable. Now, you want to give everybody the fucking briefcase that's in the match, and everybody in the match is not a world fucking champion. Drew McIntyre was the only one that was going to win that briefcase. And let me tell you something, folks. I don't know where you're getting your fucking opinions from. I'm going to need you to stop following these fucking half-witted accounts that do nothing but engagement farm, man. Winning the briefcase or attempting to win the briefcase and then cashing it in is two different things. Two different things. Punk already told you at the last fucking press conference in Scotland, as long as he is alive, McIntyre will never come close to the World Heavyweight Championship. And tonight he basically laid it out. As long as there is air in his lungs, McIntyre will never be the World Heavyweight Champion. He could have screwed him out of the briefcase. Could have screwed him in the ladder match. But that's different. Completely different than Drew winning it and then trying to cash in. There's something called giving someone hope, ladies and gentlemen. Punk is so fucking petty that he let McIntyre win the briefcase and then picked his spot perfectly. McIntyre thought he was going to win the world championship, and there's CM Punk. There's CM Punk. Which is more devastating, man? Having the briefcase slip through your fingertips or winning the briefcase and trying to cash in, and then you get fucked again by having your match that you just cashed in your briefcase on for the world championship fucked over. I don't know why this is such a foreign concept to everybody. I really don't. I mean, you got the IWC really made themselves look fucking stupid this weekend. If you listen to shows like mine, I would have had you already prepped for this. Really. Once again, LA Knight, not a world champion. Chad Gable, a world champion potentially, but not anywhere imminently. Andrade? Oh, man, that's a funny one, man. You're a comedian. He's not a world champion. Jey Uso is going to be in the bloodline. He's going to be back in Roman. He's going to be back with Jimmy. They're going to be battling Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Who else was in the match? Doesn't matter who Carmelo Hayes. Fuck out of here, Carmelo Hayes. Yeah, that's great. Let's give Carmelo Hayes the fucking Money in the Bank briefcase and have him be the next world champion, man. He's more of a world champion right now than Bron Breakker. Fucking ridiculous. Going into extra innings. Thank you, Tommy. Keep me updated, brother. Appreciate you. I hate the extra inning fucking rule, man. That's so fucking stupid, man. Let's start extra innings off with somebody on second base. They did nothing to get there. Oh, we're going to speed up the game. How is that fair? Yeah, Andrade, an idiot. I love Andrade, though, man. They dropped the ball on him big time. Anyway, Punk says all this about Drew. He says he was fined $25,000 for his actions. Drew was doubled $50,000. It's money well spent, though. He would do it again. He begged Pierce to lift Drew McIntyre's suspension because the fans want to see him get his hands on Drew. I want Drew McIntyre. He called Pierce to the ring to lift his suspension. Instead, Seth Rollins, his music plays, and he comes on out. He's wearing high heels. Everybody's singing his song. Seth makes his way to the ring. Punk, I love this. Punk at this time, he was pissed off that Rollins was out there because obviously it was not Adam Pearce. It was not Drew McIntyre. So he goes to sit on the commentary table right in front of Pat McAfee. He takes Pat McAfee's headset and he puts the headset on and he starts talking with Michael Cole. So he gave Cole a hard time tonight. He said, Cole, you used my government name on Saturday night. What's wrong with you? You're going to get me in trouble. Punk said McAfee never invites him on his show. So fans are singing Seth's song, and he's making fun of Rollins and his theme and the fans singing and him taking way too long to get to the ring. So let me get this straight, says Seth Rollins. So now you want to sit on the sidelines. He asked if he's afraid he's going to kick his ass. Punk got up. He made his way into the ring. He picked up a microphone. He told Seth to watch what he says because the last time I told you that if you talk to me disrespectfully, I would beat your ass. It would be the last time you do that, so watch your mouth. Seth sarcastically says he wouldn't dare disrespect the best in the world. He then goes on and says he's trying to understand why Punk's statement that actions have consequences applies to everyone around him other than CM Punk himself. Seth said Drew had every right to cash in his Money in the Bank contract. He says he can't wrap his head around Punk doing the one thing he told him not to do, which was sticking his nose in his business. Punk said, I wasn't sticking my nose in your business. I was handling my business. Seth then said, yes, right, of course. Punk then said he would have thought being a husband and a father that you'd understand. Seth was getting pissed at this point, and Punk cut him off and said, no, listen. He said, Drew is walking around with the name of his wife and his dog on a bracelet that he stole from me. Now, it may be 15 cents face value to anybody else, but to me, it's my fucking world. It's my life. He says he's going to get his pound of flesh. He told Seth, I have no problem with you. As he said, if he somehow screwed things up for him and his pipe dream of being world heavyweight champion, I'm trying to apologize to you. As Seth is getting irritated, I'm trying to apologize to you. Pay attention, legitimately. He couldn't say it. He couldn't say the words, I'm sorry. Seth told him, what are you waiting for? Spit it out. I know apologizing is not your forte, he says to Punk. Punk told Seth he's sorry and he didn't mean to screw things up for him. He says he's a little snowblind with rage. He says it's because it's Seth. He can't really be that sorry, though. Seth told Punk he's always had an excuse. Punk said he always has an answer. I don't have excuses, I have answers. Seth said he calls it gaslighting. He said nothing is ever Punk's fault, and he's so smart. He's got it all figured out. You're the kind of propaganda, Seth said. You have to be the dumbest smart guy I ever met in my entire life. He says the one thing that would make him the hero he thinks he is, that world doesn't revolve around him. So look, you can be a selfish bastard anywhere else. You can burn bridges anywhere else. I'll let it slide because I'm above you. He says he was willing to let that slide until what happened Saturday. He says if it's not for Punk, or if it wasn't for Punk, he'd be the world champion. He said now he's out of cracks at that world championship because he made a gentleman's agreement with Damian Priest. He says it's not a pipe dream because for him, being world champion is the most important thing in this business. He said Punk took that away from him, so he's going to take something away from CM Punk. He said if he wants to get his pound of flesh from Drew without regards to collateral damage, that won't happen on his watch. I could take a cheap shot at you right here, right now, but I know your fragile little body isn't at 100% right now. He promised that when he's cleared, he won't be able to say the name Drew McIntyre before he snaps his arm and puts him back on the injured reserve. Actions have consequences. He dropped the mic. CM Punk did not get any rebuttal, and that's the way the segment came to a close. It was interesting that Seth Rollins got the last word on the microphone here in this promo. I thought Punk was actually going to say something else, and they just left it at that. Punk did not get any rebuttal here, and I'm very curious now what we're doing with Seth Rollins going into SummerSlam. There's only legitimately two options for SummerSlam here. I don't know where they're going with Punk. Punk is not officially cleared yet. He will be cleared. I'm assuming he will be cleared. Or if WWE has already cleared him, we don't really know. They're not going to really divulge that information. I'm sure they'll make a formal announcement. I do think that we are headed towards a Drew McIntyre and CM Punk SummerSlam match. I do. That's the way it should be. We've gotten all of this up until this point. It's the right thing to do. We've been building this since January with the injury, and now he's ready to come back. This is the second biggest show of the entire year. Punk and McIntyre has been building to this. It should be the co-main event for SummerSlam in Cleveland. But on the flip side, Damian Priest is the world champion. He's wrestling Gunther at SummerSlam. Outside of that, there is nothing for Seth Rollins to do at SummerSlam. Nothing. I don't know where we're going with this, but it takes me back to the 1997 SummerSlam where we got Bret the Hitman Hart and The Undertaker for the WWF Championship with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee. And I feel like we are headed towards that type of dynamic here going into SummerSlam. I wouldn't be shocked if Punk is taking a fucking page out of the Bret Hart-Shawn Michaels rivalry or the Bret Hart-Undertaker rivalry or something Bret Hart related. I would not be surprised if this entire feud is built off of a lot of Bret Hart throwbacks because Punk is a big Bret Hart guy. But that's the type of dynamic I'm thinking about, which, honestly, that match, the greatest ending to a WWF Championship match in the history of the company, that match. I love the stipulation. I love the match outcome. I love the hatred that Bret Hart got at the end of that match. I think that's where we're going. It needs to be a one-on-one match. So what I'm thinking is Punk, McIntyre, Rollins is the special guest referee, just like Shawn Michaels was. Punk is going to play Bret Hart, McIntyre will play The Undertaker, and Rollins will play Shawn Michaels. That's the way I'm kind of envisioning this playing out. The only other option for this is to make it a triple threat match, and we take a break for now and put the Punk and McIntyre match on pause. I don't know. I don't want a triple threat match. I don't. I think everything we've been given, we get Punk and McIntyre one-on-one. Unless they don't want to do 3 matches, which I have been kind of preaching about with Punk and McIntyre. Because I do feel like the first match is going to take place at SummerSlam, the second match will take place at Bash in Berlin, and the third match will take place at Bad Blood inside Hell in a Cell. I don't know if that's the way they're going to go. It just kind of sets itself up for that. The only other option would be McIntyre does not compete at SummerSlam. We get Punk and Rollins at SummerSlam, which I don't think a lot of people will complain about. And then we get Punk and Drew at Bash in Berlin, which I think that is the absolutely least likely scenario to play out here. I would prefer a one-on-one match with Punk and McIntyre, and Rollins being the special guest referee. That's just me. But a triple threat match is absolutely on the cards potentially, for sure. I could absolutely see that being the case, because what else are you going to have Rollins do? Special guest referee, or you make it a triple threat match? There's really no in between. So I love where they're going with this. I'm curious to see where they're going as far as Rollins not really having much else to do outside of this dilemma with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre heading into SummerSlam. And I honestly felt that Seth Rollins out-promoted CM Punk tonight, but he didn't get the last word. So I think they're going to kind of get Punk riled up again. We got McIntyre on the show next week. He's probably going to say something. Punk is not allowed to be in the same building next week as Drew McIntyre. Adam Pearce is bringing him back. Suspension is lifted. So who knows what's going to be said there. Maybe we get Rollins and McIntyre face-to-face. But whatever the dynamic is here, this is exactly what a show like Raw needs. 3 of the top guys in the company feuding with each other. And the dynamic is fucking great. When McIntyre and Punk are on TV, it's great. When Punk and Rollins is great on TV, it's great. When they're all 3 on TV, we know how that was. That 3-way promo we got before WrestleMania was one of the best segments all year. So I'm loving where they're going with this. I'm very curious to see what happens with Punk and Rollins heading into SummerSlam, because if it's not Rollins being added to make it a triple threat, there really is no other option for Rollins outside of a special guest referee. Backstage, Adam Pearce is apologizing to Dom that he didn't return his text yesterday because he was dealing with Drew McIntyre. Dominik says he didn't want to tag with Liv Morgan tonight. Cancel the match. Pearce said she requested the match, and she said Dom would be happy about it. He says he's not happy about it at all. I don't want to team with Liv Morgan. After noting that Dom has interfered in recent women's titles matches, Pierce said he didn't give a damn about it, and it's signed and it's happening. Dominik says, no, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. Who was it then? Adam Pearce left, and then Liv Morgan walked up to Daddy Dom. He rubbed, or she rubbed his face, and he was not having any of it. I don't know why. If Liv Morgan walks up to any one of you and she rubs your face, you're going to be like, oh yeah. Asks why she's doing this to him. She felt bad about last week and wanted to make it up to him. He said, fine. You just better make sure we win. All I care about is beating my deadbeat dad. And she wanted to talk strategy with Dominik Mysterio. Sure, I wonder what talking strategy really means for Liv Morgan. Wink, wink. Jey Uso. Jey Uso goes one-on-one with Chad Gable to open Monday Night Raw. Jey Uso was the odds-on favorite or an odds-on favorite outside Drew McIntyre to win Money in the Bank. He did not. I don't know what he's going to be doing going into SummerSlam. That's going to be also an interesting story to see play out. What is he doing going into SummerSlam? Could he be involved with the Wyatt Six? I don't know. Don't know what's going on there. But speaking of the Wyatt Six, they got involved in this match with Chad Gable and Jey Uso. Most of this happened during the commercial break. There wasn't really anything much to it. So Gable, he comes out with his ribs all taped up, selling the effects of the Money in the Bank ladder match, which he was fantastic in, by the way. If you missed my review, it's on the channel. Thank you guys very much for 50,000 views on the Money in the Bank post show on Saturday night. Gable immediately working over Uso with some suplexes and some submission holds. We go to a picture-in-picture break. Gable remained in control. He did briefly fight out, did Uso, only for Gable to get him in an ankle lock. All of a sudden, the Wyatt Six sound effects sounded off in the arena, and the arena slowly has the lights turning off. Uso speared Gable because he was so confused about what was going on. Half of the arena was lit, half of it was dark. He was looking around scared. He turned around, he ate a spear from Jey Uso. 1, 2, 3, and that was it. Jey Uso beats Chad Gable. Gable loses again to faulty lighting. I don't know how many of you guys are going to be upset with that, but it did happen. Chad Gable loses again thanks to the Wyatt Six theatrics. Jey Uso yeeted to the crowd, and he ran as fast as he could up the aisleway and wanted nothing to do with the Wyatt Six. So Gable, obviously, we all know that Gable deserves better. We all are waiting for Gable to be in something substantial, right? I do think that Gable is going to have a major SummerSlam match, and I do think that Gable is going to be involved in some way, shape, or form with the Wyatt Six at SummerSlam. It's got to be. And I'll add on top of that when we get to the Bray Wyatt, not Bray Wyatt, the Bo Dallas. He looks so much like Bray, I can't fucking tell the difference anymore. The Bo Dallas segment that we got on the VHS tape, I will add what I want WWE. This is a statement to the WWE in terms to the Wyatt Six. This one thing needs to happen. We cannot prolong it anymore. If it goes past SummerSlam and we're still getting VHS tapes and we're getting fucking vignettes and codes and fucking shit to decipher, we've seen enough of that. I love the segments. They are great. They are beautifully shot. I love the vibe. But if we're not doing this one thing, what the fuck are we waiting for? Gable, he laid out in the middle of the ring. Smoke is starting to fill the ring now. Who knew what was going to happen or who was coming up from the smoke? All of a sudden we see Nikki Cross. She portrays Sister Abigail. She scared him, and he rolled out of the ring, and he ran up the aisleway. She has a box in her hand, the same box that she's had the last 2 weeks. Another VHS tape. She throws it in front of Pat McAfee this time. Michael Cole says that these boxes have been labeled to Pat McAfee. Another VHS tape. And obviously, Michael Cole gave the tape to the production team to play it later on in the show. Sheamus. He was backstage watching all of this unfold. He said, well, that was scary. That was creepy. He discussed his desires and his aspirations to being the Intercontinental Champion, I do believe, or he wants to get back to that form. His aspirations and competition in WWE. Bronson Reed walked in, interrupting this promo. 15 years as a WWE superstar is Sheamus. Bronson Reed interrupted and says they should be talking about him instead of being stuck in the past. Sheamus says he should know what happens when you rudely interrupt the Celtic Warrior. He says they should settle it in the ring like proper fellas, or you could just go out for a pint of Guinness and everything would be fine. I don't know if Bronson Reed is a beer advocate or a beer enthusiast, but I think that's a good way to settle things with Sheamus, right? Pint of Guinness. Reed says he'll face him anytime except tonight because he's going to beat up his mate, Pete Dunne, in the squared circle. Nice to see Pete Dunne back. Pete Dunne's been absent. He's been on Main Event. He's been on NXT with Tyler Bate. Don't know what the fuck they're doing with Pete Dunne. He's back tonight. So we get Bronson Reed versus Pete Dunne. Reed came out first. Dunne got an entrance. Mild reaction for Pete Dunne. Surprised the fans remember who he was. Tyler Bate. It was stated on commentary that Tyler Bate suffered an injury last week on NXT and he would be out for several weeks. Hopefully he's all right. I am a big fan of the tall boy, Mr. Tyler Bate. Pete Dunne knocked Reed to the floor. Leaping moonsault press. We go to a commercial break. We come back from break. Reed is in control, using his weight, throwing his weight around on Pete Dunne. Dunne avoided a senton. He took over. Scored a 2 count after a huge running Busaico-like Daniel Bryan knee. Dunne yanked on Reed's wrist, trying that joint manipulation. They're battling on the top rope. Reed shoved him down, and then Reed comes off with the most devastating finish in pro wrestling, the Tsunami Splash. 1, 2, 3, and Bronson Reed wins in about 8 minutes. Reed dragged Dunne to the middle of the ring. Sheamus, who Bronson Reed interrupted moments ago. He's out there, and he's trying to save his mate, Pete Dunne, from another beatdown. Dunne recovered and joined Sheamus in attacking Reed. Sheamus sent Reed out of the ring with a bro kick, and he saved Pete Dunne from a beatdown from Big Bronson Reed. He hugged Dunne, but Dunne shoved him away. Dunne left, and Sheamus seemed a little confused as to why Pete Dunne didn't want anything to do with him on this night. Cole said there's a story there because Sheamus walked out on the Brawling Brutes, and Pete Dunne has not forgotten. So, I am glad that we're getting another story here on Monday night. It's minor. It's not going to be one of the bigger stories told on Monday night, but I'm glad that we're getting another story on Monday night, no matter how small it is. Pete Dunne is too good to not be on television. Sheamus needs something to do in the meantime to get himself ready and built up so that he may challenge for the Intercontinental Championship, which he's mentioned once or twice before. That is his goal. Those are his aspirations. That's what he wants to do. It's the only title he hasn't won. I don't know how WWE is going to book this. I can't see Pete Dunne going heel. I could, but I don't think they're going to go that route. I don't. The one thing that stuck out to me during the entire Brawling Brutes phase with Ridge Holland, Sheamus, and Pete Dunne is that Pete Dunne was never Pete Dunne. He operated under the silly name of Butch, if you guys remember. Always made fun of him. We did the, let me at him, Scoob. Reggie. He's a fucking cartoon character. He was like fucking puppy power out there. Acted like a fool. They made him into a comedy character. Basically, he was better than that. But his name was Butch. The way that I would do this, or at least throw one of the ideas on the table, is I wouldn't turn Pete Dunne heel. I would slow burn it. I would long play it and have Sheamus and Pete Dunne at some point reconnect, and Pete Dunne angry with Sheamus because he didn't allow Pete Dunne to be his own man. Sheamus led the Brawling Brutes. He called the shots. His name was Butch. Now Pete Dunne is trying to prove to Sheamus that he could stand on his own. He doesn't need his help. And he's now a new person. He's not that version of Butch anymore. I don't think it would be a wise decision to have him go heel. He could. I mean, I'm not going to say no to that. Pete Dunne's a great heel when he wants to be. Sheamus and Pete Dunne, not going to say no to that. But what are you going to do when Tyler Bate gets back? Tyler Bate, you know, I very much like Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate together. I think reforming the Brawling Brutes is probably the best way to go here on Monday night, with Sheamus, Pete Dunne, and Tyler Bate doing it a little bit different, with Pete Dunne actually being himself. I do think that's where the story could go. So I'm very interested to see where they all take this. But he needed something to do. And I also appreciate the fact that WWE Triple H in general doesn't let tag team wrestlers stagnate when one guy is out. Normally, it would be, all right, let's keep the other guy out while his partner heals up from injury. No. I love the fact that Tyler Bate is off TV and they are finding something for Pete Dunne to do in the meantime. It's a great way to do it. He's a singles wrestler anyway. They're both singles wrestlers that were just paired up as a tag team because they make a great fucking tag team and they got history together. All these guys have history together. So we'll see where that goes, man. I'm just happy we're getting another minor story. No matter how small it is, there is history there. There is a story to be told there. It's easy. So I'm glad that we're getting something like that on Monday Night Raw. Damian Priest. He's chatting with Finn Balor, JD McFish, and Carlito backstage when Seth approached and asked if he had a minute. Priest asked his guys to go away. Let me talk to Seth. Seth said Priest was very lucky on Saturday, but also very good. He said Priest kept his word since his guys stayed out of it. So he's going to keep his word and not go after the championship as long as you're holding that World Heavyweight title. Seth says if he wants to keep his title, he has to be even better at SummerSlam. Priest says he still has a lot to prove, so he's throwing the gentleman's agreement out the window. He said when he's done with Gunther, just name the place and the time. Seth offered a handshake, and Priest shook Seth's hand. All this set out to accomplish is one thing. They had to throw, Damian Priest still has a lot to prove. They're basically answering the critics of Damian Priest's World Heavyweight Championship run, which I honestly feel like has been okay. It's been okay. It's not going to be Cody level as far as importance, but Damian Priest has more than held his own. He's very good at what he does. Seth says he has to be better at SummerSlam. So they're basically getting you ready for Damian Priest, the best version of Damian Priest that we've had the pleasure of watching. It's going to happen at SummerSlam. Because when you get in the ring with Gunther, you're going to need to really step up your game. And this is going to be the biggest test for Damian Priest out of everything he's done so far. And I'm very much looking forward to the match. It doesn't really scream SummerSlam main event to me or SummerSlam World Championship match, but I think we are well past kind of labeling Damian Priest as, He's gone in there and has bangers. He's had bangers with Rollins. He's had bangers with McIntyre. He's going to have a banger with Gunther. There's no fucking way he's not going to have a banger with Gunther. The other thing that this did is that it laid the groundwork. This is the blueprint What you heard tonight, the handshake, the respect, this was the blueprint for Damian Priest being a gentleman, a stand-up guy, a babyface. They are basically getting you ready for when the Judgment Day excommunicates Damian Priest from the group, that Damian Priest is going to be a babyface. That's what this did. That was the biggest takeaway from this promo backstage. And Rollins will be in the World Heavyweight Championship title picture again. I'm sure we'll get Gunther and Rollins at some point towards the end of the year. It's going to happen. But that title picture is going to be loaded. Very much looking forward to seeing what they do when Gunther eventually wins that championship at SummerSlam. Sami Zayn. Braves win 5-4. Yes. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. Love it. Sami made his ring entrance. Sami Zayn, that is. He's out there in front of his people. Canada's capital, representing Canada as champion. He's proud. He said Bron Breakker made the mistake of walking in with the impression that he was the underdog against him. Sami declared that he isn't the underdog anymore. I am a champion. He says he's been putting on top-level performances against top-level performers in the ring for years, and he should have earned a certain amount of respect in the ring. So Breakker didn't bring that respect to Toronto at Money in the Bank. He says it's one thing to knock him down and another to try to keep him down. All of a sudden, Bron Breakker and his awful new theme music come down to the aisle. Sami is in the ring, and Breakker gets in there and stares a hole through Sami Zayn. He says nothing. Sami eventually asks, well, what are you doing out here? You looking for a fight? You looking for a rematch? He asked, are you going to say something, or are you just going to stare at me all night? So he shoves a microphone in his chest, and Bron Breakker says he came out here to look the only man who beat him in the eyes. The only man to beat him. So I don't know what exactly that meant. Are they now erasing all of the losses he had in NXT? Are they not acknowledging all the losses he had in NXT? Or are they just simply talking about the main roster, which right now only consists of 2.5 months? It's a very interesting comment. The only man to beat him. He says he didn't think it was going to be Sami Zayn who beat him. He says he's a smart guy. He knows how this goes. He says there's no reason for him to get a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship. But I've been thinking. He walks away from Sami, turns his back to Sami. All of a sudden, like a fucking lightning strike, you blinked, you missed it. He absolutely turns around and spears Sami Zayn out of his shoes. Then he starts pounding away, ground and pound on Sami Zayn, fists flying to Sami's face. Referees and producers ran out, pulled Breakker away. Breakker began to leave. He got into another argument with Adam Pearce. He fooled Adam Pearce by pointing to something up there in the crowd, and he ran away from the officials like a fucking bat out of hell, and they did the high-angle camera shot. They showed Bron Breakker running around the ring, and he speared Sami Zayn again on the outside right in front of the commentary table. Ilya Dragunov ran out. He came out to protect Sami Zayn. Officials tried to pry them apart. Dragunov was checking on Sami, and Dragunov, said Michael Cole, has long admired Sami Zayn. So, for all the people that claimed on social media, but Bron Breakker is buried. That didn't work for me, man. I'm sorry it didn't work for you, man. Maybe you should get with the fucking program. Who's to say that Bron Breakker's not going to get another shot at the fucking title at SummerSlam and win it there? Everybody wanted to write Bron Breakker off after Money in the Bank. Oh, it didn't work for me, brother. What exactly didn't work for you? The great match that Bron Breakker had with Sami Zayn? Probably the best match of his fucking life. What exactly didn't work for you? The ending? Losing to one haluva kick? How many people Sami Zayn's put away with one haluva kick? Give me a fucking break. It's like these people go fucking dumb. Month after month after month. This is the same guy that beat Gunther clean. Why wouldn't he be able to beat Bron Breakker clean? I don't really understand that logic. If there's anybody that's going to know how to beat someone like a Gunther or a Bron Breakker, it's going to be someone like Sami Zayn. Some people were trying to convince me that the loss took away from Bron Breakker. What exactly did it take away from Bron Breakker? What did it take away? Did it take away the Goldberg-esque aura that WWE was somehow building towards with Bron Breakker? Yeah, that's exactly what we need. Another fucking mini Goldberg clone on WWE television. The fact that they gave him a loss this early and broke away from that fucking Bill Goldberg comparison is going to do him wonders. The comparisons are already there. Oh, he's got the fucking power. He's got the speed. He's got the spear. The more we break away, the more we move away from those Bill Goldberg comparisons, the better. Nobody needs to remain undefeated. And this is a show in which they hold the power. WWE can give Bron Breakker a loss. You might not like it. You might think he's buried. He's not. You might think it takes away from him. It doesn't. Like they can't come right back on Monday and do what they did here tonight, and he looks like a fucking badass all over again. How many people are going to go back and reference the loss at Money in the Bank after what they did tonight? All you're thinking about is going towards SummerSlam 3 weeks from Saturday, and Bron Breakker's probably going to get another championship match at Sami Zayn and win the fucking title there. What are you going to say then? JD was right. He knows his stuff, but we still hate him on social media because he's so good at what he does. Everything is going to work out. If you don't think that this administration has Bron Breakker set on a fucking world championship at some point in the next 18 months, you got to be out of your fucking mind retarded. Seriously. Holy shit. I never seen so many stupid fucking accounts on social media complaining and bitching and moaning. I would be the first fucking person to bitch and complain if somebody was being mishandled. Like I told you in the beginning, man, the IWC, a lot of these fucking farming engagement accounts really made themselves look like blithering, low IQ fucking idiots this weekend. Really. This match will happen at SummerSlam. In what capacity, I don't know. Dragunov is now involved. Kaiser is involved at some point when he gets back. We don't know when he's getting back. Is Sheamus going to be involved? I don't know. But Breakker and Sami is probably going to be run back again at SummerSlam for the IC title. JD McChicken. Finn Balor and Carlito. 6-man tag team match against Miz, R-Truth, and Braun Strowman. I don't really know what is going on here. I can't bring myself to physically care when Awesome Truth is on television. I mean, we have taken such a complete 180 with this tag team. Really. Miz Truth, or Awesome Truth, whatever the fuck they go by, them going into WrestleMania with the story about them overcoming their bullies and R-Truth getting a WrestleMania moment. Had no problem with it. Here we are now going into SummerSlam, and I can't wait for the... If there's a fucking tag team that you break up, it is fucking this tag team. Just get them off my television. R-Truth can stay off television. Or can stay on television, rather. Miz can get the fuck off television. Or if you want to introduce this split to us, R-Truth goes babyface and Miz goes back to being a heel. I'd even take that. Seriously. But the tag team needs to be done and over with. I don't want to see it again. Braun Strowman, there's no interest surrounding Braun Strowman whatsoever. He's feuding with the Judgment Day. 6-man tag team match here. I mean, it is what it is. We could potentially be seeing a split between Awesome Truth. R-Truth and Miz were attacked during the entrance. J.D. McCafe chased by Braun Strowman. We go to a picture-in-picture. Carlito gloated as McNuggets and Balor assaulted Miz, who was the legal man. Strowman gets the hot tag. He took care of J.D. McFish. Attempting to chokeslam Balor, Strowman was interrupted by Carlito and McRib, but he laid them out. Strowman and R-Truth proceeded to run a Strowman Express together across the Judgment Day on the outside. J.D. McNuggets with a side of sweet and sour spicy sauce. Even the odds, enticing Strowman. And then the chase continued out of the ring and into the stands. So goodbye, Strowman, and goodbye, McFish. Apparently, Braun Strowman wanted barbecue sauce and not sweet and sour. Balor took advantage of this with a coup de grace for the win as Strowman was late in returning to the ring because, like a dumbass, he chased J.D. McRib into the fans, and by the time he got back into the ring, it was too late. Match was over. Not a big fan. Not a big fan of this whatsoever. I don't know where we're going with this, but the sooner they end this tag team of Awesome Truth, the better. So I don't really know what the fuck's going on there. Goodbye. Waste of a fucking segment on television. Adam Pearce is backstage, told CM Punk that his issue is that he's half the problem and not medically cleared. He says he's frustrated and it has to stop. He then asked Drew if he's in a place mentally where he can even be professional at all. He told Punk to stay home next week. Don't mind Drew McIntyre. I'm going to take care of Drew McIntyre. Pearce said Punk didn't start it, but he likes to stir it up. And if he doesn't stand back, his chance of getting a match with Drew and whatever title aspirations you have are out the window. Pearce asked Punk to let him deal with Drew. Punk then said he would go home and go work on getting cleared. So next week, the suspension is lifted. McIntyre will be back on Raw. Punk will not be there, but Rollins will be there. I wonder if Rollins will have anything to say to Drew McIntyre next week on Raw. Liv Morgan. She was backstage, and she asked Dom if he wanted to work on double team moves together in preparation for their match against Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega. I wonder what those double team moves really entail. What does that mean? I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm sure a lot of you in this chat would love to work some double team moves with Liv Morgan. Dom resisted and said, I don't want to do no double team moves. I don't even want this match. All I want to do is beat my deadbeat dad. She shoved him down onto the couch and she starts stretching his legs out, and she's in between his legs, leaning into him. Wink, wink. Get your mind out of the gutter. Looks like the start of a fucking Brazzers porno. He says it felt good. No shit. It felt good, Dom. Welcome. Welcome to manhood. Priest walked in. Carlito, Balor, and McDonagh comically all peeked around the doorway. Carlito said, "Oh, that's cool." Priest asks, "What the fuck is wrong with you, man? You gotta put an end to this. I thought you would have put an end to this by now." Priest is just laughing about it. I mean, this is just ridiculous now. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to do, Dom. And then Carlito looks down at Dom's package, and he said, "Well, it looks hard to me." And then they all escort Carlito out of the building, or out of the locker room because of his one-off comment. So Dom said, "You're just like my dad." Dom says he's going to put an end to this. He's going to put an end to Liv. Priest told Balor that kid is going to learn something about consequences. Priest says he has a secret he was going to keep to himself that Dom would find out about soon enough. Wink, wink. Mommy is back. I don't know why Carlito is looking at Dominik's junk and using the word hard. Pause. We don't need that type of description and language in the venue, okay? That visual. Nobody wants that here. Liv, on the other hand, we would take that visual all day long, okay? Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy. We got the VHS tape. Played for third week in a row. Uncle Howdy asked Bo Dallas once again to talk about his family. Bo says he gave them a purpose. He says they are so happy that he remembers them. He said being a glutton for punishment doesn't make abandonment feel any better. He said grief is the price you pay for love. He said now they must set the captives free, so they need no master. They showed images of the other members. We got Joe Gacy. We got a brief face of Joe Gacy, who is being presented as Huskus the Pig. Then we got Mercy the Buzzard. That's Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis looks like he's got a new look, man. He's got dreads. Looks like he's getting ready for his death metal days. And then we get Ramblin' Rabbit. And we see a glimpse of Eric Rowan, who is Ramblin' Rabbit. We all know that Nikki Cross is being presented as Sister Abigail. We didn't see her because we saw her earlier in the night. So they showed all these images of the other members of the Wyatt Six. Bo asked if he thinks they are sick. And this distorted voice, which we assume is Uncle Howdy, said, yes, I do. Bo then said, then sick is what we will be. Bo Dallas continues to crush these promos and these vignettes. He is fucking on his A game. There's no B team here. He's on the A team here. Bo is just fucking killing it. Love it. The one thing that I have a problem with, the vignettes are great. I want to hear from the other characters. I want to hear from the other members of the group. The one thing I have a problem with is if this continues anymore and we get the same type of vignette for weeks and weeks and weeks, after sitting through 2.5 months of deciphering code and QR codes and riddles and Twitch streams, is WWE going to burn the interest out when it's high on the Wyatt Six by prolonging what they need to do here? I don't know what's next. I don't. But I will say this. If they are not in a ring wrestling by SummerSlam, we're making a huge mistake. Honestly. We're making a huge, huge mistake if they're not in the ring wrestling at SummerSlam. Everything that we're doing right now, the vignettes, we got the characters, we know who they are, we got the mission statement, we got Bo fucking killing these vignettes, we got Uncle Howdy sitting down with Bo and Bo sitting down with Uncle Howdy. I love it. They need to be in a wrestling ring. Whatever you're doing with Chad Gable, do it at SummerSlam. Whether that's Uncle Howdy versus Chad Gable, whether that's the Wyatt Six versus a new Alpha Academy, something. You want to do Chad Gable and Jey Uso against the Wyatt Six? Something. They need to wrestle. You cannot hide them behind vignettes, no matter how good they are. At that point, if you don't start putting them in the ring and giving them a fucking story to tell in the ring, you are going to slowly start creating this to be the next Bray Wyatt, the next Fiend, and that's what we don't need. Because all they wanted to do with Bray was theatrics. It never really got into the ring to tell that part of the story. We need to do that at SummerSlam. We got 3 weeks. If these men are not in the ring wrestling, that is a huge missed opportunity. And you got to give us some sort of reason why Chad Gable is being targeted. Now, I love Gable, and this is a big spot for him. But you got to give us a clear reason why he's being targeted. If this doesn't lead to Gable aligning himself with the Creeds to wrestle the Wyatt 6 at SummerSlam, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. I don't. Camera showed Adam Pearce backstage. All of a sudden, Gable ran up to Adam Pearce. He yelled at him for not doing anything about the Wyatt 6. Did you just see that VHS tape that played? I know they're talking about me. He says, I know they're talking about me. Pearce asked, well, haven't you thought of a reason why they may be targeting you? You're so smart. Have you come up with a reason why? Gable says he'll take care of it his way, and then said he'll expect an apology from everyone after that. He asked for a vacation after all he's been through. Adam Pearce walked through his office door, and in his office already was Bo Dallas sitting there, and he looked over at Adam Pearce, smiled. Adam Pearce walked into his office, and the door closed behind him. Now, if that's not a fucking cliffhanger, I don't know what is. Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas versus Chad Gable at SummerSlam. I think that's the direction we're going in. Somebody from that group needs to wrestle, and it needs to happen in Cleveland. Bron Breakker. He went one-on-one with Ilya Dragunov. This was good. Anytime Dragunov's in the ring, it's good. Anytime Bron Breakker's in the ring, it's good. Breakker came out. Cole said Breakker was in a bad mood after Sami and the promo segment earlier. And obviously he's in a bad mood because Sami pinned him 1-2-3 clean at Money in the Bank. Bell rang. Breakker gave Dragunov a release German suplex right at the top as soon as the bell rung. We go to commercial break with Breakker in control. Dragunov, he starts fighting back. And Dragunov, powerbombing Breakker from the top, followed it up with a senton. Dragunov nearly had the match won at that point. He got some nice air. He's got a great-looking senton. He gets really high on that senton. Great-looking senton. Breakker tried for a gorilla press and knees to the midsection that didn't pay off. But Dragunov's top rope moves, they also didn't pay off either. Breakker, he looked to spear Dragunov. He was met with a knee right to the head. The match ended while both men were on the outside, and Breakker threw a commentary chair at Dragunov, which got him disqualified. So around 11 minutes, Dragunov wins by DQ, so I can't wait for all the IWC cretins. Oh, my God, Bron Breakker lost 2 matches in a row. He's buried. Oh, my God, the world is falling. Breakker attacked Dragunov afterwards. Sami charged out for the save, limping out there, selling the effects of the spear that he got earlier. He clotheslined Breakker over the top rope to the floor. Sami checked on Dragunov. Breakker yanked him to ringside and threw him into the ring post and then into the crowd. Dragunov then went after Breakker. Breakker threw him over the announce desk. Breakker then stood on the announce desk and yelled out to Canada. And that's the way the segment came to an end. Gee, I wonder what Bron Breakker's doing at SummerSlam. Maybe he'll win the Intercontinental title there. I thought this was great. He lost on Saturday. They built him right back up on Monday. Gee, look at how that works out, man. Oh, boy. Patience. A promo aired with Judgment Day, laughing at Karrion Kross injuring Kofi. No, not Judgment Day. Fucking Final Testament. Final Testament. Judgment Day. Who gives a shit about where this is going, man? Kross Says he won't be able to play the accordion anymore. Ha ha ha. And laughed. Cross said he always thought Xavier Woods was a hell of a talent and noted that he even beat him, which Kofi couldn't. He says he can create his own legacy or stick with Kofi. Said New Day is dead and Xavier is the last to realize it. Where are we going with any of this? Does anybody know where this is going? The Final Testament and the New Day. This is taking such a back seat on Monday Night Raw. It's not even fucking worth talking about. Damage Control. Io Sky, Dakota Kai, and Kairi Sane against Katana Chance, Kaden Carter, and Lyra Valkryia. This match went 9 minutes. Not bad. I mean, I don't give a shit about Damage Control. So, Damage Control is in control. They delivered a triple team offense here. They got everything in control. Sliding elbow from Kairi Sane. She looked for a pinfall. Only got a 2 count. Sky, she comes in off the tag, striking to Katana Chance until Lyra took her out with some big powerhouse moves. All 6 women here. We got all 6 women in the ring. They're going at each other. And she landed, Lyra, a gut-wrench sit-out powerbomb on Io for a near fall. Carter and Chance landed double-team moves on Dakota. All 6 women in there. Carter riled up the crowd after the 6 women were in the ring and chaos had ensued. Sky landed an over-the-moonsault on Kaden Carter for the 1-2-3. Again, nobody gives a shit. Crowd couldn't be less entertained. Damage Control wins. Afterwards, Sonya Deville, Zoe Stark, and Shayna Baszler attacked Damage Control. Crowd was silent as silent could be. They all took out Damage Control with a series of signature moves. Zoe yelled at Io, saying that she ruined her on Saturday and ruined her chances to win Money in the Bank. And we got this new group of women that nobody will give a shit about, that they aligned themselves together. Sonya, Zoe, and Shayna are the new group on Monday Night Raw. Great. Fantastic. If you give a shit about this, God bless you. Kathy Kelly interviewed Zelina Vega and Rey Mysterio backstage. She asked if it's an advantage that Dom didn't want to team with Liv. Zelina said if it's not for Dom, she would be the women's world champion. She says those two are a hot mess, and they'll be even more of a hot mess after they get done with them tonight. Rey says they need to put an end to this story and shut Dom and Liv up once and for all. Jackie Redmond. She's backstage with this new group. Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Sonya Deville. Asked them about what happened out there with Damage Control. The only thing that mattered in this segment was backstage, behind this interview, you saw Chad Gable talking to the Creeds and Ivy Nile. Chad Gable did tell Adam Pearce that he's going to take things into his own hands now. He's got to worry about himself. So there you go. Gable is obviously seeking help through the Creeds. When is that going to play out and when are they going to be aligned together? I don't know. Like I said, SummerSlam. Something needs to happen. Shayna Baszler says they sent a message to the entire locker room who runs the women's division. Zoe Stark says they gave Deville a call because they were getting screwed over. I'm sure Sonya Deville is not going to lead to anything but them continuing to get screwed over. Deville said this is a warning shot to the entire women's division. Didn't Zoe and Shayna just say that? Isla Dawn and Alba Fire walked up to them and said it's their division as long as they are tag team champions. I'm falling asleep just even thinking about the possibility of a match between these ladies. And yet, WWE, there's rumors that WWE wants to bring 2 mid-card titles to the women's division. Don't know how that's going to fucking happen on these depleted rosters. But please, continue to add more championships and have 0 division. If you're going to add more championships to the women's division, I think we need to fucking erase the tag team titles. That's a start. Absolutely as worthless could be. We got a video package on Gunther, noting he's getting a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. He said he realized years ago he enjoys making people miserable. He says he's restored honor and prestige to this great sport. And that's what's on the line at SummerSlam. Here's your World Heavyweight Champion in Cleveland. We got just about 4 weeks to go, ladies and gentlemen, and Gunther's going to be your new champion. Get used to it. But why didn't Chad Gable or Jey Uso win the Money in the Bank? Because Gunther's going on a near 2-year title reign. Get used to it. It's gonna be at least a year. At least. Main event. Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio versus Zelina Vega and Rey Mysterio. This is your main event of Monday Night Raw. We go quickly to a commercial break. Rey sent Dom headfirst into Liv's crotch. Yes, that happened. Dominik making every man across the globe jealous. One crotch at a time. Dominik rolled to the floor. He looked grossed out. Hey, Dominik, brother, you got a fucking problem, bro. This man has got a fucking problem. Liv met him at ringside, smiled, and we go to a commercial break. We come back from break. Fans are chanting, "We want mommy, we want mommy." Liv gave Zelina 3 consecutive vertical suplexes and then danced like Eddie Guerrero. Zelina blocked Oblivion, which is Liv's finish. Rey and Dom tagged in. Rey landed a springboard moonsault for a near fall. Dom went for 3 amigos on Rey. Rey stopped it after 1 and then set up a 619. Dominik caught his legs. Zelina ended up giving Dom a 619 right to the balls. Yes, that happened. Rey leapt off the top rope with a frog splash. On Dominik, he goes for recovery, gets a 2 count. Rey leapt off the top rope, like I said. Zelina sent Liv into the ropes and also gave her a 619. Liv knocked Rey off balance on the top rope. And she did this by throwing a steel chair into the ring. This distracted the referee. Referee took the chair. He turned his back on what was going on with Dominik, Liv Morgan, and Rey Mysterio. Rey's about to give Dominik a hurricanrana, I believe, off the top rope, and Liv crotched Rey on the top turnbuckle. Dominik then landed a frog splash, and he gets the 1, 2, 3. And Dominik finally pins his deadbeat dad on Monday Night Raw in the main event. That's his first win over his father ever. So congratulations to Dominik. Dominik was smiling. He was so happy. He was in a good mood. He hugged Liv. He then backed away and realized what was going on. Liv then all of a sudden leapt into his arms and fell backwards with Dominik falling on top of Liv Morgan. Dominik then leaned into her face, and it seemed like they were going to finally embrace with a kiss. All of a sudden, Rhea Ripley's music played, and Ottawa became unglued. There was no funny entrance. This woman power walked to the ring with the nastiest snarl on her face. Liv, she ran so far out of dodge, she forgot to grab her championship. She ran away. She was petrified. She couldn't believe mommy was back. Rhea then gets into the ring, and fans are chanting, "Holy shit, holy shit." Dom, he didn't know what to expect either. He moved in for a hug. Ripley shoved him away. We didn't know what was said. But obviously, we'll find out what's said next week when Rhea is back on the show in Dayton, Ohio. And she's got some words for Dominic Mysterio and potentially Liv Morgan. So what a cliffhanger to end Monday Night Raw tonight. I thought the closing segment with Rey pinning Dominik pinning Rey with the frog splash, them hugging, Liv falling backwards, Dominik mounting on top of Liv, with Rhea coming out and storming to the ring, and Liv being chased away. I thought that was a great segment. Really, really great segment. And it was helped by Dominik. And honestly, it was helped by Dominik starting to slowly fold. We don't know what that means. That could also play a factor into what's going to happen in the future here. Is Dominik finally finding a soft spot for Liv Morgan? Does he want to fix things with Rhea Ripley? Does he want to end things with Liv? I don't know. I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't. Listen, I think Balor is going to be the one in charge here. I think Balor is kind of pulling the strings in the Judgment Day. And I think now that Damian called Rhea and he kept that information from Finn, I think that's also going to play a factor into this as well. Because Finn wasn't notified. He wasn't clued in on Rhea coming back. Finn may take it upon himself to bring all the members of Judgment Day together, and we may see some sort of excommunication angle here. Honestly, the same thing that they did to Adam Copeland. I could see them doing the same thing to Damian Priest and do the same thing to Rhea Ripley. So we will see how this plays out. But I thought this was a great closing segment. Dominik gets his first victory over Rey Mysterio, and he's got Liv Morgan to thank for that. How is that going to play into the story of what Liv and Dom are going to do moving forward? How is Dom going to calculate that in his brain? Is that going to be enough for him to say, you know what? You couldn't bring me to do that. I was with you all these months, and I couldn't beat my father. Liv, first time we teamed together, I beat my fucking deadbeat dad. I got my first victory over my father with Liv, not you. It's very interesting, man. Very, very interesting how this is going to play out. But I thought Monday Night Raw was a decent show. Obviously, the wheels are in motion for SummerSlam. I think things are going to pick up going into next week and then the week after that. I have a feeling things are going to really heat up, especially on Monday Night Raw. And then we got the Bloodline stuff, Cody and Solo, Roman Reigns rumored to be coming back and making his return with the wise man, Paul Heyman, at SummerSlam. Going to be a big next 3.5 weeks, guys. It's going to be really, really big. And I can't wait to spend it all with you guys right here on OTS. You know how I'm going to get through all of this SummerSlam grind? You know how I'm going to do that? Magic Mind, man. I feel like I could use some Magic Mind right now, man. So much so, we're going to add some to our Liquid Death, because that's what I do. That's what I do, man. It's very easy. This is what I do every single morning, man. I have my favorite sparkling water, and Magic Mind goes right in. I love it. And it tastes fucking great, man. It really does. It really does. Magic Mind. Let me tell you something about Magic Mind, man. I've been on this kick, and I've explained this several times already. I have a problem taking midday naps. Being a content creator, it's a very stressful, grinding job. You're always thinking about how to make yourself better, how to stand out. You know, I prep myself for these shows extensively. I got House of Glory as well. I got a huge show coming up on July 26th. For the last 3 or 4 weeks, man, I have been off of caffeine the first thing in the morning. Normally when I wake up, walk into the kitchen, prep myself a pot of coffee, and I drink coffee all morning long, and then I have breakfast, I go to the gym, I come back, I do what I gotta do for the rest of the day, I get ready for you guys, and I'm ready for a fucking nap. Not anymore. Every morning I wake up, I have my favorite sparkling water, I mix it with Magic Mind, and I have that first thing in the morning. I get that magic flowing through my system. Then I have breakfast. Then I have my protein. Then I have my coffee, and then I go to the gym. And when I get back from the gym, more protein and another Magic Mind to keep me going into the evening, man, to give you guys shows like this. And then Tuesday Night Titans with Solomon. So Wednesday night live for Dynamite with Jesse. I haven't taken a midday nap in about 4 weeks now. It's all thanks to this little green bottle right here, man. Sharper mind, less stress. I feel less stressful. Good thing Vince ain't running the show anymore. Stronger motivation and better energy. For energy, they have B2, B3, and B12 vitamins. For less stress, they got turmeric, vitamin C, and vitamin D3. And for a sharper mind, they got that lion's mane mushroom. And it tastes great. The best thing about it, it tastes fantastic. Take it from me, man. It tastes great. If it didn't, I wouldn't be promoting it on the show, and I wouldn't have 3 cases in the kitchen right now sitting next to my coffee machine. That's how good it is. If you guys want to try this for yourself, man, get yourself a subscription. 48% off your first subscription. If you don't want to go the subscription route, you guys can buy a one-time purchase, buy yourself some for a one-time deal, 20% off. All you got to do is use that promo code JD from NY20 at magicmind.com/JD from NY. I want to thank them for once again keeping us motivated, keeping us less stressed, and keeping us sharp. Magic Mind, tonight's sponsor and my great partner right here on Off the Script. Let's get to these super chats, man. Jorge, you got 3 kids. You need a nap. I don't blame you there, brother. Magic Mind will take care of that for you, though. Who do we got first, man? Who was first in line at the venue? Don Parker with a $5 super chat. Absolutely love the CM Punk Jack Tunney throwback. OTS for life. He did mention Jack Tunney tonight, man. I love CM Punk's old school mentality, man. I really do. Michelle with a $2 super chat. We may get Punk Seth or Punk Seth Drew at SummerSlam. Yes, we talked about that earlier. AJ with 14 months. Mommy is back. Dom better fucking run away like a thief in the night. Very good Raw tonight. Punk and Rollins feud gonna feed families. I can't wait. It's gonna be a great feud, man. Anything Punk, McIntyre, Rollins, it's gonna give Monday Night Raw a great reason to watch, man. Tribal Chief with a $2 super chat. Rhea is back, pal. OTS for life. JD, you the GOAT. Thank you, brother. Main event 81 with 20 months as a VIP. People need to stop hating on Gunther. He will be your new World Heavyweight Champion after SummerSlam. I bank on that. He will. He will. Elizabeth with a 2. If you listen, if you are disrespecting Gunther in any way, man, your tastes are awful. Elizabeth McConkey with a 2 months. Good to see Mommy back on Raw. I'm a big fan of Rhea Ripley, and Mommy will be back on top. OTS family for life. JD for life. Thank you, Elizabeth. Baby Shaq 342 with 26 months. What's up, OTS family? All Ego is your new NXT champion. SummerSlam will be stacked. Gunther vs. Priest, Cody vs. Solo, Knight vs. Logan Paul, and so on. I did not watch Heatwave yet. I did watch the WrestleMania 40 documentary, though. I'm sure Jason and I will talk about that tomorrow. Not a fan of that documentary, man. The Cerebral One with a 5. Dom and Liv reminds me of me and my physical therapist. Well, if your physical therapist looks like Liv Morgan, bro, sign me up. MGM Ballin' with a $4.99. First day of the new job in the books. No better way to end the day with a great episode of Raw and even better OTS. Thank you, MGM Ballin'. Good luck on that new job, brother. Three Kings with 23 months. Punk and Drew have really given us 6 months of a great feud without any matches. Crazy when you think about it. Can't wait for the first match. Should be at SummerSlam. Ben Callanan with a $7.99, celebrating my 27th birthday today. And seeing Punk show up on Raw made it even better. I can't wait to see Punk versus Drew. Now, keen for OTS. Thank you, Ben, and happy fucking birthday, bro. Let me see some birthday cake emojis in the chat for my guy, Ben. Fixes a bind with a $5 super chat. The match stipulation for Punk and Drew at SummerSlam should be loser leaves to AEW. Haha. I'll see myself out of the venue. Yeah, Punk made a comment, an offhanded comment today that hard camera side, there was actually fans sitting there, which was a knock on AEW, who most of the time has no fans sitting on the hard camera side. Sarit Mohanty with a 15 months. Did you catch NXT Heatwave last night? I did not. Oba versus Wesley. Fatal four-way main event. Meltzer criticisms of Kalani and Sol Ruka. Lola and Roxanne. Gunther versus Ilya Bash in Berlin. Well, that's a lot. That's a lot in that, Sarit. No, I did not watch Heatwave. I did not watch Heatwave. I'll catch it whenever. I'm not. I mean, people are telling me, it's like it was like a black and gold era takeover. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I don't have to watch it to tell you no. No, it wasn't. Triple M. What's up, brother? $10 super chat. Love putting chill, no toxicity in a Salvation's Edge LFG, and someone joins who instantly insults people. Super toxic. Sounded like a virgin. D2 community sucks. Rollins, Cook, Punk. You the GOAT, JD. Thank you, Triple M. I've been grinding fucking Grandmaster Nightfalls, bro. I can't for the life of me get the fucking roll I want on the Shadow Price. The best roll I got was Stats for All and Volt Shot. I got an Overflow Volt Shot. I got a Stats for All Volt Shot. I got... What did I get? Demolitionist and something. What's the other one? Strategist and Demo. I want Strategist and Volt Shot. I can't get it. I'm tired of running the same fucking strike. Listen, man, it's too late. I got like 7 of them sitting in the vault. I don't know, man. Lewis with a $10 super chat. What's up, JD? OTS for life. Lewis, hope you're well, brother. Maddie C with a $4.99. What's up, JD? It was a mid-show. Besides the ending, Rhea's going to clean house. OTS for life. Thank you, Maddie. Captain Solo with a $5 super chat. Up until this point, who would you say is your wrestler of the year so far? I would say WWE. I would probably go with Drew McIntyre. And for AEW, I'd probably go Swerve and Will Ospreay. But Swerve reblocked me for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know what I could have possibly said wrong to Swerve or about Swerve that he had to go back to my page and reblock me again. I don't know, man. What did I do? I'll see him on the 26th at Hog. I might have to ask him. Demeter Bullion. I'll let me read this first. I'll read this away from the music. Demeter Bullion. I drill my doodle in wrong spot. Yeah. With a $7.99. J-Dawes. Like Jaws. Forts on CM Big Junks. Screwing Obafemi and winning North title. The Miz challenges him in a 1-hour Iron Woman match at Bad Blood. I mean, I don't know what the North title is. And The Miz is wrestling in a 1-hour Iron Woman match at Bad Blood. Wow. Wow. Good luck deciphering that one, man. That's fucking more complicated than a Wyatt 6 QR code. Mr. Team Bring It with a $1.99 in Super Chat. Who has the better future, Hook or Dominic Mysterio? Dominic Mysterio. He's got Liv Morgan. Hook's got Samoa Joe. I take Dominik. Why reality sucks with a $5 Super Chat. The look on Bo's face while looking at the camera was like, so you're telling me that I will end up dancing and jobbing. Jokes aside, I hope the best. Yeah, me too. Dominic Carter with a $4.99. I like the idea that Roman and the Usos will eventually reunite. Predict what happens that gets Jey back to SmackDown. He's kind of aimless right now. The Wyatt 6 may fucking chase him back to SmackDown. We don't even know. Will Chisholm with a $10 Super Chat. The Judgment Day feels like Bullet Club when it was good. How they kicked out AJ, Finn, and Adam Cole. It's the same with Edge. And soon Priest and Rhea, with Finn being the leader. I could see that. That's a good comparison, Will. I'm sure Finn Balor has a lot of thought process around that too. They are very Bullet Club like for sure. Ryoku with a $2 Super Chat. Today's my 32nd year birthday. My 32-year birthday. OTS for life. Thank you, brother. And happy birthday, man. Let me see some birthday cake emojis in the chat for my guy Ryoku. Anthony with a $4.99. Best show ever. Love you, JD. You think Rikishi would be a good wise man for the new bloodline? Possibly. I do think that Rikishi's going to get involved, yes. Whether he's the wise man or not, I have no idea. Or a new wise man, I have no idea. Aquarius knows it all with a $4.99. Do you think it'll be a custody match with Liv and Rhea for Dom like they did when he was a kid? No. I do not. I do not. Mr. Team Bringer with a $1.99. What was your favorite match during the NXT era? Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole at TakeOver New York. That's all I got, guys. You guys want me to get out of here early tonight? I'm about to go play some Destiny, too. I'm about to go play some Destiny, man. Thank you guys very much for all your support, man. I appreciate you all for a great stream, man. We had 4,000 on Saturday for Money in the Bank and another 3,100 tonight for Monday Night Raw. Thank you guys so very much. You know where I'll be. I'll be right here tomorrow night. Episode 56 of Tuesday Night Titans. With the Titan himself, the Solid Monster. Brendan Watson with a $4.99. What's up, JD? Hope you had a good 4th of July weekend. I just came back from a long family vacation in Cincinnati, and I'm looking forward to SummerSlam. Brendan, enjoy SummerSlam, brother. My 4th of July was very boring. I didn't do much of anything. I'm not really big into the holidays. It is what it is, man. Thank you, guys, man. Check out some Magic Mind. MagicMind.com/JD from NY. Use that promo code JD from NY20 at checkout. Hit that thumbs up. Thank you for the super chats. Go buy some merch on Bonfire. We got a new t-shirt there. What the fuck are you guys drinking t-shirt now available. And go check out all the other content on the channel. Social media. Hit the subscribe button. You guys know the deal. Until then, guys, have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you live with the Solid Monster on Tuesday Night Titan.
I don't even know why I come.
I don't know why you come here either, motherfucker.